is because children learned to handle such dissonance. When I go to men's retreats of Christian groups and they say, let's go shoot Mexicans, I know there's something wrong. Now, they may not say that so overtly, but that's essentially the idea. It's a white, male-dominated religion, and that is not at all what it should be. So, if you're an atheist, Santa Claus is a troll because he is the first time your parents lie to you. He teaches you how to tolerate the dissonance of lying. He teaches the idea that when you know a secret, you don't tell someone that secret is false. If you're a kid, you don't want to destroy someone else's Santa Claus. But consider the dissonance it creates and the tolerance for cognitive dissonance that it creates in children. So I think that if you had no Santa Claus, and this is really out on the rim here, I recognize that I'm way out of the rim. But if you had no Santa Claus, you never would have had a Donald Trump because we wouldn't have taught people to tolerate that level of dissonance. Now, I could be wrong.
Well, yeah, but you were asking who the greatest troll was, but I don't think St. Nicholas was the troll. I think that the myth that other people created, Santa Claus, the way we see it today, is a myth. It wasn't created by a person who died many centuries ago.
Rick, you say he put like gold in a woman's stocking. I did that once with Stormy Daniels, okay? And then Biden, the fake news Biden administration came after me, okay? Came 34 charges, okay? And now we're going after them. So, yeah, once in a while, like St. Nick, you put a little gold in the stocking or leave it on the nightstand, okay? And we love that.
You could be more famous than Santa Claus, Mr. President, if you sent gold to little children. And you could just take all the gold that you have in your office now and send it to little children.
No, what we do is we take things from children like healthcare, okay? We don't give to children, okay? We take things, okay, and we kick out the children, okay, the brown children, we kick out. Because we all know they eat the dogs and the cats, which the smoke causes climate change. Okay, that's what it causes. It's all by the illegals. Okay, the illegals cause it all.
I spend all my reactions on you. It's just so funny. Santa Claus, he is a foreigner. Are you thinking on sending ICE to take him out of this country, President?
Well, yes, look, I want an American Santa Claus, J.D. Vance, okay, hillbilly like the Allegheny, okay, with the reindeer, except he's going to have a couple mules, okay, it's going to be so great, all right, even though, the thing about J.D., though, he has a brown wife, which we don't love, but he can be our little J.D. Claus, okay, he's fantastic, he can have his little elves like little Marco. Okay.
Can it be a couch instead of a slide?
Okay, hold a second. I think Monica's trying to say something, and because we have lower voices, go ahead, Monica. You got the floor.
So Alan, I appreciate that you like Scott's bad impression of Donald Trump and the blatant misinformation and lying. I appreciate that, and also. I don't. And we had a topic. I don't know if you want to go back to the topic. I put the poll up. The choices are, who is the greatest poster of deliberately offensive and provocative content? Who are the trolls? The nominees are Elon Musk, Trump, mainstream media, and Santa Claus. And I invite people to vote accordingly. There are a couple people that want to join the stage. I'm not sure. Do you want everybody up, or you want to do more someone?
Let me work on that one. You work on the poll, and I'll work on the stage. Thank you.
Everybody can vote. the number of hoaxes. This is going to be a great replay for me to go back to, so that I can do a replay of the replay and account for the hoaxes. The JD Vance sofa love, a total fabrication that Carlos is joking about and Scott didn't know about. Y'all didn't know that was a lie. Y'all didn't do research. And are y'all enjoyed the joke so much that you didn't care if it was based in reality?
We don't. Okay, look. Research is a term that was created by the fake news. Okay, when America was great, we didn't do research. Okay, this was before the military was woke. Okay, we became woke with Harry Truman. Okay, a very woke president who made the Department of Defense. Before Department of Defense, we didn't do research. All fake news. Okay.
Yeah, I would just say that the fake news.
I mean, to be honest, Monica, it is true that JD Vance did not have sex with a couch. It was a shea slouch.
No, it wasn't. But thanks for the attempted humor.
No, these are the true facts about JD Vance, and if you disagree with that, that's fact checking, and fact checkers deserve to be executed.
I don't understand the presumption that JD Vance is, or the fabrication that JD Vance's wife is not welcome in the.
Monica, you better stop fact checking, or else I'm going to have to send the FBI to your house in order to keep America safe.
Oh, I'm that dangerous, am I?
Yes, according to me, JD Vance, you are dangerous because you are a fact checker.
Are you trying to pretend to be JD Vance?
I am JD Vance. Do you disagree with that, fact checker?
Yeah, your accent is nothing like JD Vance. Sorry, Necro.
That's bullshit. You're just fact checking.
Well, it's my opinion that the survey of mainstream media is accurate, that mainstream media is the biggest purveyor of clickbait, the biggest purveyor of fake news and misinformation. And in capitalism and in the publishing industry, clickbait is a multi-billion-dollar, daily, monthly business. All videos on YouTube, all Clubhouse room titles, ultimately have some type of functionality in clickbait or misinformation. Otherwise, the human brain really isn't that interested in it. So we are our own worst enemies. We desire the troll in a way because it's something different. It's something that breaks the pattern. So Trump is not just two-faced. He can be three-faced, four-faced, five-faced, very mercurial, and therefore extraordinarily dangerous, but also could be our greatest weapon in a very aggressive world. I don't think Kamala and Tim Walz, I think Kamala and Tim Walz would actually have been a far more dangerous duo than Trump and JD Vance, because Kamala and Tim would have faced a world which would be very aggressive against them, and they may have gone over the top and given a military response that Trump and JD Vance wouldn't have to deliver, because they're much more confident in their position and they're not, trying to project power in a way that JD Vance and Kamala would have, which could theoretically, in my opinion, been possibly plunged us into the most dangerous military adventurism that America probably ever would have engaged in because of their folly. So, yeah, that's my opinion.
Thank you for coming as your real self and not a fake self. I appreciate that. I am really confused, John. To be very blunt with you, I'm confused and trying to learn from your presence and from Monica's presence. I am not as close-minded as you might think I am, but I need to know what is and isn't true. Now, maybe Santa Claus is more of a problem for me because of blindness than it would be for others. Maybe it's obvious to young children that he isn't real. But, I have had many situations where people punk or troll, and it's dangerous. So I have to be very careful about deciding who is real and who is not. And that's why I don't usually like having the Donald Trump impressionist. But I told him specifically that if he will only do Donald Trump, He's welcome because I know who he is, and we all know who he is. What's a problem is when you're a fish and you are swimming along and you think you've got a nice, bug or whatever, and you bite on that and you get pulled in. That's a problem. That's trolling, and I think whether it's liberals or conservatives, I think trolling is bad. I could be wrong, and I'm trying to learn the good side of it.
See, trolling is comedy, though, but trolling is self-deprecation, and trolling is also roasting. Trump publishes a lot of roast material, and that is being political and social. Nobody's getting punched in the face or beheaded. This is all pixels intended to make people emotionally upset on the left. And on the right, everyone is laughing because now it's their turn to roast this liberal collective consciousness of trans ideology and LGBTQ, superiority. So we are living in a cultural time of incredible reframing that if Waltz and Kamala were the presidency, I mean, prisoners would be getting transgender surgeries paid for by the government.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a heartbeat. But suppose you're right. Maybe I don't believe that you're right on that. I don't believe that the Federal Reserve should be done away with. But I certainly do believe you ought to have the freedom to speak it. And as long as you're honest about who you are. So I appreciate you coming as who you are. But I do think that when you try to control the media, when all of your rich friends buy up the media, when money is speech, we have some problems. And we may be able to break it down into small pieces, but it's hard to do when there's trolling involved because then we're not having a sincere conversation.
If you don't think we should get rid of the Federal Reserve, do you think we should be on a gold standard?
No, I don't.
You want fake money and you want your money just being debased?
Sure. Yeah, let's go all invest in crypto. You know what? This room is deteriorating. I appreciate what it was. I think Santa Claus is the greatest troll in human history, and I'm going to leave it here because obviously...
5 more minutes, please, sir. Five more minutes, please, sir.
Go ahead, Monica.
Okay, so I think we can bring it back, and we can bring it to what Alan wants it to be. And because I think we can. So I'd like to recommend people vote in the poll. Alan's going to give us 5 more minutes to wrap it up. Mike Flash, if you have a thought on topic, please. Not the Federal Reserve, Nick. That's a little too heavy and way off topic for this room. Mike Flash for any closing comments. All right, we have a couple more minutes to vote in the poll. The selection is 5 votes. Alan, I can't vote for you, but you would have picked Santa Claus?
Yes.
Because I can extrapolate that into
Yes, thank you. I understand what you mean when you say you can't vote for me. I thought you meant something different. I thought you meant what I did for Donald Trump, because I didn't vote for him. But you did. I appreciate the thought. Thank you.
Right. So.
And Jim, is Jim still here?
Yes, sir.
Jim, do you have a vote?
He is still here, but it doesn't look like he's going off.
Can't get it on the mic. Well, if you get it on, Jim, let us know who you vote for. This is actually more technically difficult than people would want to realize, but okay.
I can imagine so. The features are probably not intuitive to.
They are not.
So if you want to if you can't vote in the poll, but you'd like to have your choice noted, if you want to write it in the chat, that might be easier. And also, I wanted to thank Alan for letting me play the TED Talk from Jonathan Haidt. The fact that someone said he was conservative was humorous. He is definitely not a conservative fellow, but he is a classical liberal. And if we can agree that free speech and the Constitution and the amendments are vital for a functioning country, no, that's a bridge that hopefully we can cross together. Lady Diana is new to the room, new to the stage. I don't know how long you've been listening, Lady Diana, but Alan's ready to wrap up the room. Do you have
Alan, this is Jim.
So
Yeah, go
Trump
ahead, Jim.
said today
First Jim,
that
then Lady Diana.
so Trump said today that he doesn't think that he's going to heaven. So then, I might go to heaven instead of him.
I couldn't unmute earlier when you
I
were
don't know if I'm gonna go to heaven. It's crazy. That's all I have to say. He is the troll, definitely.
Thank you. Go ahead, Jim. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I said I couldn't unmute earlier when you were asking for me to
I understand.
But I did put in the thing to vote that I did put my vote. Did you see that, Monica?
Monica, do you see Jim's vote? Probably it's in the chat.
Jim's voting for Trump.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I hear about Santa Claus, but I don't know.
Okay.
There's too much there to unpack. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, it's okay. All right. What do we get on the poll? Are we ready to see what we got?
So there were 5 votes and now there are 4. I'm not sure how that was possible because I know whenever I vote, maybe it's not updating. And now we've climbed to 7. I think some people are still voting. That's nice.
Okay.
I understand Alan's never seen trolls as a positive. I think trolls are measured like people are measured. You judge them by their fruit. So if a troll is effective in making people think critically about a topic, I would judge that fruit to be good.
Good.
If a troll is invested in their own amusement and entertainment and tears down and destroys, I would say that's probably a less effective and less preferred type of troll.
Thank you.
There's one more thing I'd like to share in this room. Chloe Valdary has a program called Theory of Enchantment. It is the best anti-racism program I've ever seen, and I've looked through some. I've looked into it. She has 3 tenets that I think are very valuable in our love of humanity. The first one is treat everyone as human beings, not political abstractions. The second one is criticize to uplift and improve, never to tear down, never to destroy. And the third one is root everything in love. And if we could navigate the world with a focus on those 3 tenets, I think the world would be a better place.
Monica, why are people accusing you of being a troll right now? Why do you think people feel that way?
Accusing Monica of being a troll? You refer to Monica?
I'm not. I know Monica well enough now to know that she's her true, authentic self, but people in the chat think that this is like satire on behalf of Monica, or trolling behavior,
Okay. All I was trying to do was clarify that the "you" was a reference to Monica. That's all I meant to say. So your answer is yes. You're asking Monica why people think she's a troll. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I know Monica to be MAGA. She loves Trump, she loves America, and there's no coming between her and Trump. So, you are listening to the real Monica. I just think I've witnessed people over the years do reverse racism on Monica, try to spit on Monica, ruin her parade, ruin her performance, and it's all because of her personality, delivery, identity. It's they attack the identity, I suppose, as opposed to the content.
Monica, do you want to answer that, and then I'll give you my answer?
I think she exited stage left.
Oh, I think Clubhouse is a really hard place to communicate and have real relationships. I think the nature of how it's done is very different than IRL, where You can walk in and walk out. You can, you have the advantage of facial expressions. And I will close the room after we finish this, John, but I like your question. And I think the answer is that it can be found earlier in this replay if you listen to it. I at one point said theoretically about Donald Trump, about the Republicans being a party of law and order. Because I don't see how you can have a party of law and order when you have a president who so overtly disregards or tries to go above the law. I'm not arguing whether what he did is right or not. I'm not even arguing whether he raped 18 women or not. But he clearly did have 34 felonies. And his answer, and he clearly did pardon 500 people who were in the, in January 6th. So it's hard to make an argument that he truly believes in law and order. And I think that when people get involved with someone like Monica or you, who is a Trump supporter, we cannot resolve that dissonance.
Alan, why do you always refer to these felonies? I mean, I've had dealings with judges and lawyers, and, from my position, the judiciary is corrupt. There is no jury trials. It's just process. No one can speak. And I mean, why do you have all this faith in the judiciary and lawyers and judges, and you cast that as a dispersion on Trump every single time?
Very simple. Very simple. Because Donald Trump is his own judge and jury, and he can do no wrong. His say on it is the final say. If I were convicted of 34 felonies by a judge and jury, even if I were innocent, I would not have the chutzpah to run for president. That's why.
Could you name one of those felonies, please? I'm a little confused here. I just tuned in.
Okay, this has gotten...
Falsified business records.
Okay, so, no, I mean the exact felony.
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to close the room.
I'm not surprised, because it's bullshit, isn't it?
It is not bullshit.
It's total...
So before Alan closes the room without us reviewing the poll, I moved Norm down. I hope I didn't exceed my...
You did the right thing.
Because that is a whole nother discussion, Norm. And Alan already gave me the indulgence of keeping the room open longer than he wanted to. And I don't want to impose upon his hospitality too much longer. Please do vote in the poll, though, sir. The poll is going to be closing in, you think 60 more seconds, Alan?
Yeah, 60 more seconds. And Monica, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you engaging in this with me. Because I recognize that, this is the tough thing. And where does trolling end? Well, it's kind of hard to tell.
Well, when does the comedy show begin and when does it end? Nobody can answer that except for you, the green bean fascists who control the stage. El Normo, was voicing his opinion.
Joining Norm in the goo. I understand that free speech is very important to the majority of us in here. And also, if the host is ready to close the room, we have to honor that space. And I invite people to open another casual room, a response room, another replay room. The power is yours to make that happen. The poll votes, including Jim's vote for Trump, there's a number of 10 total votes. 4 for mainstream media, 4 for, well, actually, I think probably Trump and Elon Musk are tied for second place. But the ranking order is mainstream media gets the win with a 56% vote that they are the greatest posters of deliberate, offensive, and provocative content, followed by Trump and then Elon Musk. And I'm sorry, Santa Claus gets your vote, Alan, and only your vote.
Wow,
And,
okay.
So, you guys, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Monica.
I'll let Alan close his room.
I will. Thank you.
The one that has like all these little star thingies in it kind of looks like a balloon. The other one looks like the actual Atlas, like they made out of that stone or black rock structure thingy with window. That's the one he's actually describing, which is interesting. It's on there. Hold on, so it's basically saying it's not the first video.
Global terms, you had the opportunity to witness.
Damn, that pizza's fucking good. I love garlic on my pizza.
I understand what hoes call me. And out of the many of women that haven't called me a pimp, it's not a fair assessment.
Because I don't internalize what people say to me because I know who I am. When you say that I'm unsatisfied or I'm, this or that, it does not affect me because I know who I am. I know that you don't have an understanding.
Okay, this is Sunday Night Meditation and Comedy Clubhouse. This is Candidate.
Excuse me. I did say I wanted to go after Eric, please. I don't know if anybody else noticed that has been here since 9 a.m. Yeah, I think I came around 9 o'clock.
They kicked me from the room.
No, I thought you had posted your girl the other day. I was like, let me see what your sister on. Okay. It was cute. Oh, this nigga too busy singing. He don't even hear me talk.
My bad. What you said, Toy?
I said your sister was cute.
What's going on, John?
What type of women are recreational use only? I mean, I was thinking like, what kind of women recreationally use cannabis? That's what I was like thinking that this title was about, or something like that.
No, I was just putting up some random title. Oh, that was funny in the room. You started talking about the Federal Reserve, and then they kicked you down. Did they kick you down or no?
In which room?
The Monica room where she was modding.
Oh yeah, she kicked me down, but she just wanted to like protect Alan and give him his little safe space.
I think Alan's low IQ too.
Yeah, there's a lot of low IQ people, but there's also just like a lot of people with different experience reality tunnels that you can't modify nor really criticize because, like he said, he goes to Christian, retreats, and then white men are saying, let's go shoot Mexicans. It's like, what? And then he says, well, it's not quite exactly what they're saying, but they're basically saying, it's like, no, dude, they're not saying that. You're saying that. And you're coming on Clubhouse and projecting what you think is like sitting in the subconscious, memory of like white men or something. It's so stupid. That's why this app is literally, I mean, going back to what you said about him being low IQ, but you can use this. Like, I'm using this as content and people are watching it. It's part of my campaign, and hopefully we can raise the collective IQ by doing, content harvesting.
Right. I just think, like I said, he's another one that I've noticed with his rooms before. If you like challenge him, he doesn't like it.
Yeah, nobody does.
So,
who likes being challenged? Like in an aggressive way, but if you're chill, see, that's why it's nice to have Monica there in a way, because she balances out the liberalism. So, like, good on Alan for agreeing to let Monica do harmonica,
seem to like Alan, but I've only heard him speak once, which was this past room.
I like anybody who's peaceful. Like, I could go into an all black room right now and you could listen to some 60-year-old guy talking about being a pimp and why he ain't a pimp and this and that. And you're like, damn. Like, there is not just a cultural and a race issue, it's a class issue or some kind of like entertainment issue. But African Americans on this app are so verbal and so social. There's no meditation happening. So they're totally like outward projecting. So, I mean, I need to meet a black Buddhist or something, be like, bro, what's up with your people, man? Like, do you guys have no peace? Is it all intentional? Do you guys just constantly cause yourselves, you know,
Hey man, I'm a
drama?
black Buddhist, bro.
You're a black Buddhist?
Yeah, I'm a Buddhist. Yeah, what's up?
Speak of the devil and one will appear.
Yeah, nah, wait, you got beef? You got beef with us?
I got beef with I got beef with the ADOS Buddhists in America, dog.
Nah, but Buddhists are cool, man. Like, you know, they're just about themselves. You know what I mean?
No, they're not. They're about saving other people. They're about saving all sentient life forms.
Hey Tom, how old are you? You look like a child.
Bro, I'm old enough. Like, I'm in my 20s, so I'm good.
Okay.
Live by myself. You know, I got an apartment, so don't worry about me, girl. But so
What the fuck?
He's saying you can come over to his house
John,
anytime and chill.
Is you a Christian?
Yes, I'm a baptized Christian.
Okay, so what do you think about Buddhists?
I think the Dhammapada, or the sayings of the Buddha, is a profound book, and it's something that every Christian should read because it's just like another summary and compression of a lot of the teachings of Christ and the disciples. So I would read it. It's very short. It takes like an hour to read the Dhammapada, and I've read it many times, and I thoroughly enjoy it. I'm in a book club.
Oh yeah, that sounds cool, man. But look, you know, you said you got beef with Buddhists, man. But you know,
I'm
I don't
just
think it's
making
cool,
a joke.
man. Nah, but like, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so my parents, right? They moved to China, and I was born there. You know what I mean? So I'm a black Chinese. You know what I mean? But and I'm also a Buddhist. You know what I mean? And you know, I feel like being a Buddhist, it helps you with your discipline. You know, it's all about yourself. You know, your internal. You know, your chi, if you know what I mean. You know, you got an energy. You feel me? So yeah. So I don't know why you got beef with it, bro. Like, you feel me?
No, I agree with all that. I'm just being facetious. You know, Buddhists are very cool. I like the Dhammapada. I like Om Mani Padme Hum. And it's good wisdom for, you know, relaxing and higher levels of intelligence.
Yeah, you're from the U.S., right?
Yeah.
What do you think about the Muslims, man? You feel me?
I think the Muslims need to read the sayings of the Buddha and stop blowing up Buddhist, you know, temples and relics in Afghanistan, etc. Like the Islamists just go too far with their supremacy, and the Buddhists are a nice balance for harmony in society.
Yeah, because you look at, you know, Europe, right? Like, look at England, look at Paris, look at Italy. Like, they are like, you know, they are like roaches, bro, infecting the country, man, trashing everywhere, man. And I think it's happening to America soon. What do you think?
It's already here, man. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I could go outside right now, go to the park, look around. There's women in burqas with their families, and they're growing, and they're not gonna become Americanized because they thoroughly reject American culture. But honestly, American culture sucks. So I understand why they reject it. Listen, I mean, you may be some kind of hip hop enthusiast or something, but you know,
for sure.
go try to read Shakespeare. Go try to read, you know, C.G. Jung. Go try to read Freud. Go read anything other than Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac. You know, Tupac. I hate to break the bad news to you, but you know, those hip hop artists and that music are a part of the problem. Gang banging, crib walking and drill music is a poison. It's not philosophy. It's not harmony. It's not music. It's death music. It's hardcore trash. And we have a culture and a class issue and an intelligence issue. And so I would just say be a part of the solution, not a part of the problem.
Hey man, I know where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? You look like you're from the traditional times. You probably enjoy country songs and stuff. But I feel like hip hop has changed the world a lot. Like, you feel me? A lot of Chinese and Japanese and Koreans, they're like influenced by this, and I feel like it adds a little dynamic to the Gen Z generations, like, you feel me? So, but I get where you're coming from, bruh. But you're saying that you don't vibe with the Black Americans. Is that what you're saying?
No, I like I like entertainment. I like intelligent entertainment, but I like it's just I don't like too much of anything, so it's just a me preference, and everybody has their preference, but you know, reading the Dhammapada is a great reset. And just most people aren't reading books. Go into any clubhouse room. There's no conversations about any of these sacred texts. So it's just all pimps and hoes.
Wait, so I got a question for you. So, as you know, that, like, I've seen the stats, and the Black Americans are 13% of the population, and they caused, 60% of the crimes. What do you think of, do you agree with that? And in your experience as an American person, have you encountered any Black, person, committing crimes, or, doing
Yes.
things that,
I agree with those statistics. Somebody like Moose down there would be like, "That's not true," and this is the because, and here's this data. I agree with your statistic, and I have been personally assaulted by a young African American and robbed and beaten, and possibly murdered. So I know not to fuck around and find out. Keep your head on a swivel and never relax when you're around. So all I'm saying is there is the reality, and then there is this liberal fantasy delusion projection, which is not based in reality. The statistics don't back them up. Personal experience doesn't back them up. Go ahead.
But has crime gone up or down in the past 5 years in Chicago?
It's not so. See, this is the thing. It's not about what's gone up or down. It's the total numbers. And so, like, DC is the perfect example of soft on crime and recidivists, people out on 50 arrests, and they murder somebody, they rape somebody. Enough is enough. Bring back capital punishment. Hire 1,000 executioners in this country. Purge our prisons of everybody on death row, and get the next set ready. I say we start murdering murderers, murdering rapists, and we do it at scale. And we stop housing these people at $100,000 a year and stop taxing ourselves to house murderers. It's a pretty simple 22 to the temple. It's my opinion, it may be controversial, but I'm ready as a congressman to hire 1,000 executioners to go work for the Department of Corrections.
You sound like you want to take a page out of Sharia law.
I'm being a little facetious here and provocative, but I don't know if you would say that that's a page out of Sharia law.
Yeah, it is like in Sharia law, they kill their murderers and they kill the rapists.
But Singapore does the same thing too. Like, drug dealers are basically executed. It's one of the safest countries in the world. Like, they don't fuck around. Like, to John's point, you don't have a high recidivism rate there because once you do a crime, you don't do it again.
Yeah, and a lot of the people who are committing these soft on crime, cash bail crimes, like the person who was burned in the subway. There's just so many incidents. It's out of control. And I think that Trump going into Chicago, going into Seattle, going into San Francisco with U.S. federal law enforcement and National Guard deployments is long overdue. San Francisco is completely overrun by drug zombies, by illegal narcotics, the worst of the worst. We're not talking about, Miller High Life and cannabis, my two favorite chemicals. We're talking about hardcore drugs like fentanyl, opioids, other types of synthetics. It doesn't matter. Like, we are letting our fellow citizens rot in the streets. I mean, it'd be better to put these people in prisons than to just let them linger in the streets and slunched over in these fentanyl overdoses. I mean, why can't the police arrest these people for being in public spaces slumped over, completely high in fentanyl? Like, what are we paying the police for? Why are we paying for all these prisons? What are we paying all these property taxes for if we're not going to actually enforce the law and assist our fellow humans and citizens in saving themselves? They're going to die. So I say be proactive and be aggressive. Now is not the time to, with Trump in office, we have a cultural revolution, a cultural framing, and America can clean its act up in a way that it's never been able to do before.
Hey, John, I agree with you, man, because as a black person myself, sometimes I just feel like, I don't want to...
Aren't you Chinese?
No, I'm a black Chinese, you know what I'm saying?
You're a black Chinaman? Like an African-American ADOS Chinaman?
Yeah, like black Buddhist, that's what I told you, you know what I'm saying? But,
Got it.
I've been scrolling on the gram, you know what I'm saying, and I've been seeing my people, doing stuff, and sometimes I just feel like, I don't want to associate myself with those, you know what I'm saying, because I feel like there are two types of black people, you know what I'm saying. One is black people like me, like civilized and educated and smart, you know what I'm saying, like me, and
see, this is the problem. There's no such thing as black people, white people, yellow people, brown people. There's only intelligent people and stupid people, classy people and shitty people.
Thank you for saying it. Thank you for waking up some sense.
American people and non-American people. It's got nothing to do with black or white or yellow or brown or purple or gold. It's got everything to do with intelligence. Do you read books? Do you have a degree? Do you just, run your mouth with ghetto nonsense and Ebonics all day long? What are you talking about? What is your focus and your concentration on? Are you here to just rap, Tupac and Biggie? Because funny with the money. Oh, you got me mistaken, honey. I don't want to rape you. I just want the papers. The capisce. I'm out like the papers. Who's the head honcho? Slick like Rumacho. Cool like Camacho here on Clown House. You see what I'm saying, Tom? It's words. It's linguistics. It's communication technology.
Can I ISO with Tom real quick?
Go ahead.
Cool? All right. So Tom, I don't want to preface by saying there's no disrespect towards you or anything like that, right? So please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Right?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with what a psychological operation is? A psyop. Are you familiar with that term?
Yeah. So propaganda.
Okay, cool. Great. So follow me, right? So what do you think is the best way to if the family structure is either the backbone of society, right? Going deeper than the family structure, you have a connection with your roots, where you come from, your traditions, all of that stuff, right? So what do you think would be the best way to subversively get people to detach from their culture, detach from any tradition or any values? What do you think would be the quickest way to do that?
Hey man, simple as that. Knowledge is power. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, more people should read books and study.
So let me ask the question again. In terms of getting a group of people to forget and detach from their traditional roots, their heritage, where they come from, and their values that come with that, right? What do you think would be the quickest way to do that?
I don't know, man. Remove them from that place, I would say.
Nope. That's too much work. Right? We're talking about psyops. Psyops are conducted so that you don't have to waste resources, right? It's like putting something on autopilot, right? So I'm gonna answer the question for you, right? You get people to refer to themselves as colors, right? You're no longer Haitian, you're no longer Jamaican, you no longer are Gullah Geechee, you're no longer Nigerian, you're no longer Nordic, or you're no longer French or Spanish or Czechoslovakian. You're white or you're black, right? And then after a couple of generations of people referring to themselves as white or black, right? The reason why people say white people have no culture, that's a collective hallucination, because in the same way black people are seemingly cut off from tradition, culture, and values and whatnot, right? It's the same thing with a lot of white people, right? I'll say this, the Irish and the Czechoslovakians and Russians do a really good job of whenever they come over here, they make sure to refer to themselves as where they actually
Okay, I'm gonna
came
restart this live stream.
right? So that's what I'm saying. With the whole I'm black. Like, there's, bro, you're African American or you're whatever, right? They gotta stop using color. My skin is brown, bro.
No, but here's the thing, though. Like, colors do matter, man. Because, you know, as a kid, as a black kid,
Went over your head, and I no longer have any interest in continuing this conversation. Take it easy.
yeah, as a black kid, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, growing up in China, yeah, let me just tell the story real quick. You know what I'm saying? As a black kid growing up in China, you know what I'm saying? You know, even though I'm Chinese, you know, I speak Chinese.
Oh, sorry, my finger slipped.
Why you do that? He's a black Chinaman. That's so racist of you. He grew up on a Chinese wall, on that big China wall. They used to keep all the black people out. He made it across, and now you kick him to the goo? You're so racist.
Man, he's so young, he didn't understand anything. Like, I don't want to sit here and teach this kid.
Anyways, what type of women are recreational use only? You know, I like a nice person. To me, if you can match or mix beauty with niceness, kindness, or a nice disposition, that's the way to go. But you know, super aggressive, super toxic women are such a put off, because then you have to like basically tolerate that type of behavior because there's no way to like correct it, and they will be rude and snotty and parsnippity and inconsiderate, not loving, and just so self-centered and narcissistic that they're basically unlivable. You cannot live with that person. You can only merely have occasional encounters with that person because they're just so aggressive and can be mean, and you know, there's just no. It's such a personality thing. It's like, you know, if you can find beauty, brains, kindness, all those things like together, there's just no perfect package, is what I'm trying to say. It's very, very difficult. It's best to get married when you're young. If you get married young,
I agree.
yeah, if you get married young, you can develop your personalities maybe together. But when your personality gets so fixed and you're in your 30s and 40s, there's no changing your disposition. And there's a reason why you're going to be single and never get married.
Oh, yeah, John? I appreciate you, John. John, I deadass didn't know that.
The more you know.
Your finger slip again, Indigo?
Where are you finding all these retards?
This is Clubhouse.
Just randomly coming in.
This is Clubhouse. This is just the beginning. Just wait. They'll keep feeding in. This is like spiders getting caught on a web.
The worst type of women, though, I would say, John, are the boss bitches. Because the ones that want to be vice presidents of companies, head of departments, because, like, at the end of the day, I don't think that they want to be mothers. They just want to be the boss bitch and, like, try to prove themselves. And they're either, a lot of them I see, they're either divorced or very unhappy in their relationships. You've been trying to get a hold of me for a minute. Or if they are married, they're married to, like, a total beta male.
See, this is where, you know, I don't mind dating an alpha female, you know, and like that song, Girls Are Players Too. It's like, you can be a player, but the moment you start being rude and obnoxious to me is the moment that I immediately begin losing interest in you. and I'm going to naturally, give less of consideration to you. And quite frankly, no fucks will be given when it comes to like our long-term endeavor. Now, the short-term endeavor, I'm still willing to play, but I know that if you exhibit behavior, communication, which is not friendly towards a long-term relationship, my immediate, short-term, fuck it's syndrome kicks in, where I could really give two shits. I'm still always willing to be the gentleman and always be super kind, because if you are kind to somebody and they're extremely rude, like, you're still being kind to yourself. So it always comes down to, how do I manage my personal emotional joy, stability, strength? How do I not let the mind virus that you're infected with intrude upon my joy and happiness?
What do you think, Indigo?
I kind of zoned out on what John said, but sorry, it was nothing you said. I just checking my messages. Yeah, I think, yeah, okay, so I don't see anything wrong with women not wanting to have kids. If you don't want to be a mother, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. I don't see a problem with those kinds of women. What I do see a problem with is women completely disrespecting themselves, and then perpetuating single motherhood. That's what I have an issue with. And those are the women I would say are recreational use only, because you don't respect yourself. You don't respect your body. If you're just having like 4, 5, 6 different children, fathers, like, okay, this is out of hand.
So, yeah, I knew a girl. She's a bartender. I was friends with her, whatever. So my buddy and I used to always go to this local pub. And she worked at Ford on the line, like a UAW worker. And, they make pretty good money. Their work's not always consistent because they always have layoffs, temporary furloughs, everything like that. So she pick up extra hours. And, good-looking lady, but you can see she got some plastic surgery done to her. She had 2 kids from 2 different dads, and she was never married to either one of them. It's fine if you have kids out of wedlock, whatever. That's not a deal breaker. But every guy she met cheated on her, and like, nobody took her serious, and she could never understand why guys don't respect her. Yeah. And she worked at like she even sometimes would work at a strip club, not as a stripper, but as a bartender at a strip club. And again, she would work at a place that it required her to wear like pretty provocative clothing and pretty revealing, because she needed that attention.
Yeah, that's very sad.
See, Clubhouse gives you
But
a
yeah,
way.
you're not gonna have anybody respect you if you don't respect yourself. I don't know.
Clubhouse.
Just being out here like.
Clubhouse gives you a way to detect people in the real world who are unaware of the fact that they're trying to create dopamine by having conversation, superficial conversation, generic conversation, intentionally malignant conversation. Most people are completely unaware of like the ghost in the machine, that just having a conversation creates dopamine. So it's a question is your conversation purposeful, intelligent, useful, necessary? Because so much of the communication that happens on this app is totally unnecessary. So it's like a wake-up call for everybody, but especially in the real world, because most people don't have this simulation experience to be more aware. So, but that's also gives you, as like a power user, Clubhouse user, to be like more compassionate for people who, just may not really be there. They're kind of, struggling for intelligence, I guess. I don't know. It's so hard to. This is so stupid, but I just bring it up because I do notice that, like my mom, for example, like if you hop on a phone call, they use Clubhouse like a phone call. So I don't know if you detect that at all, but many people just don't have this experience. So they want to do this with you personally, as opposed to like making it into a product or some type of functional outcome.
That. Yeah, like I said, Indigo, like nobody is gonna wife up this girl because when she says all this stuff and like guys don't respect me, it's like you kind of brought it onto yourself. And I feel sorry for her kids because both of her kids are messed up.
Probably because she's bringing those strange men around her kids. Is this something she's doing? She's bringing men around her kids.
Yeah, I think so, but they see that their mom's like some basically like sex symbol, and like one of her kids is in high school, and like you just kind of wonder, I'm like, what her classmates see when she shows up to school, like basically wearing her provocative clothing. Like you see it too now, like a lot of there's kids that are committing suicide because they find out that their mom's on OnlyFans, and like their classmates find that out and they get made fun of so badly. It's horrible. Once you put yourself out there, it never goes away.
Well, you can update.
Yeah, Nick, that's so true. You just said something that's so true. And this is one thing that I wish more women were aware of, especially women who have children. I didn't know some of these kids are committing suicide. That's absolutely awful. But yeah, this is like, I think this is a conversation that needs to be had amongst women more often. Like, if you have children, what do you think your child's going to think when they see you naked online? Like, honestly. And how are they going to view you after that? And then how are they going to view themselves after that, because they are a product of you?
Once you're on the internet, it never goes away.
Well, that's an all or nothing statement. And, you know, as someone who live streams himself, 100 hours a week, and basically I'm like kind of curating my activity and my image, and I'm upgrading myself by educating myself. So, you know, once you get into pornography, though, because it's the most base communication there is, there's no real intelligence there. You're trying to essentially sell dopamine and orgasms and spam. So there's a bit of despair there because you're not matching it with intelligence, and the disgrace, the infamy, the vulgarity of it, you know, but the social stigma from that is real. And, you know, in the real world, if it does get out in a small community, holy shit, you're verboten. Like, you're the trash now. And the people in society that you can pick on and disrespect because, you know, you are getting rammed in your ass on OnlyFans, and that's your mom and your dad or something. So, but really, you can clean yourself up because you can delete things off the internet. You can file privacy complaints and have things removed, but you can't really fix stupid. That's the one thing, you know, you can try to fix.
Okay, so I disagree, and I'm going to push back, and I don't think it's an all or nothing statement at all, because, again, like you even just admitted it yourself, these kids will then be the product of trash and the easy target. So I don't think this is an extreme. I think this is as realistic as it gets. And I have kids myself, so this is like something I've thought about in depth, and I don't post provocative photos of myself online, and I don't send them to any partners. But my thing is, It's like, if you post something like that of yourself online, or you're doing OnlyFans, at any time that person, anybody can screenshot that. So even if you want to do some kind of scrub or whatever, it doesn't matter. Somebody already screenshotted it. It's already out there. It's not going to go away.
Yeah, but your reputation is really based on a Google search and what the first like 10 to 100 results are. Most people aren't going to dig further if somebody's trying to dox you or something. So,
I can barely hear you, John.
can you hear me, Nick?
You still kind of sound far away.
No, he's pretty good.
I'm just saying that so much comes down to your Google reputation management that if you just Google John Kitover, you're going to see a lot of political stuff. If you dig deeper and deeper and deeper, you might see me in my underpants doing yoga in the sun. And according to Marshall Rankin, those are piss-stained underpants. So that makes it even more disgusting. But, you know, if you think exercising and stretching and reading books is, you know, disgusting usage of the internet and your cell phone, I mean, I would just say staring at TikTok and looking at 300 miles of TikTok news feed over the course of, 2 weeks and spending 3 hours a day looking at your phone like a zombie and not creating anything is the problem. So we have a bunch of consumers who complain all the time that the content sucks, but they don't take the effort or the time to create anything of any value. And that's what this app is. It's a bunch of lazy, fat, disgusting, meth head, alcoholic, angry smokers who come on here and use their green bean fascist power to basically make themselves dopamine. But don't forget, the root word of dopamine is dope. And there's a lot of dopes on this app that dope up with dopamine, and they're stupid on top of it. So that's the type of dangerous world we live in, where stupid people have fascistic powers, and unfortunately, stupid people often dictate the narrative or the headlines and control the cyclical nature of our communication paradigm.
Trying to say is you don't hang out in politically correct or the new improved Democratic Party.
New and improved? How did it become new and how did they improve it?
Oh, no. Yeah, they always throw me from that room, so.
People are still using TikTok?
Oh.
Yeah, I thought that was done for. I actually went into politically correct earlier, and I don't know, they had a weird title up there that made no sense. And I was trying to figure out what the hell they were talking about. And one of the mods immediately, it was like, oh no, Royal, or Indigo's here. And I was like, what's up? What's the title? Nobody answered my question, and then they ended the room. I'm like, what the fuck? All right.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, or Lisa's 420 Lounge, or Lisa's 420 Lounge, too. It's just an echo chamber.
Yeah, I don't know. Their title was strange. That's what drew me in the room. Most of the time, that's what draws me in the room, is seeing a title. And like, okay, maybe they're having a discussion about this. This might be interesting, kind of thing. But yeah, I didn't understand their title, and it was a politically driven title, but it was two things together that made no sense. But also, it sparked my curiosity.
Let me make something very clear to you.
See,
Get that.
I'm dating this liberal chick, and totally liberal, totally opposite, but yet we can connect on a spiritual level. And if you want to talk politics with me, that's cool, but let's not do it on a Friday, Saturday night. Like, let's do it professionally, for an hour podcast on a Wednesday or something. And if my partner is not willing to want to come on the podcast to have that conversation publicly, or, in some type of private way, it's like, let's just not have the conversation, because this isn't what we're having for dinner on Friday night. This isn't the show we're watching or where we're going. It's like, don't play that political game with me in the real world unless like it's for a purpose, because just casual conversation It's just not worth it. And you have to always ask yourself, is it worth it?
You're dating she knows you're MAGA?
Yeah, she like looked
Your
me
liberal
up.
girlfriend?
Yeah, the next day, like after she spent the night at my house, she's like, I was so scared. She's like, you reminded me always to look up who I'm going out on a date with. And then I told her, I'm like, hey, like I'm fully transparent. I mean, I think it's because I wear the MAGA hat, which like really freaks people out. But I don't wear it when I go out in the real world. I just wear it on my YouTube videos.
I mean, that's the problem.
Did you find your YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh my God, what did she say? Wow, and she still decided to go out with you after.
I think I framed myself correctly. Like I'm a filmmaker, I'm a creator, I'm an aspiring politician, and this is what I'm trying to do. Like it's not, I have a purpose and I have some social media clout, but she's totally opposed. But the thing is, like, most people are so superficial. It's like most people just want to go to a concert and have a nice dinner. Like, how politically active are you? Are you outside that ICE detention facility with a protest sign 40 hours a week, filming them and putting them on you? Like, how far politically are you? Or are you just one of those superficial complainers who hate, the white person with the hat on? I mean, like, who are you?
I agree with you actually on that statement. Yeah, no, I can resonate with that statement 100%. Because so me, I'll be honest, like, and I don't actually politically align with the majority of my friends, but that's one thing I do enjoy is having that discourse, that back and forth and exchange in ideas. I don't want to echo chamber, I want to grow my mind. And sometimes, you need to listen to people who don't have the same point of view as you to do so. But me, personally, I'm a protester. I'm like active and all that, all this shit. Yeah, I have went out to actually the detention center we have here. But I find myself asking that question with a lot of people, and especially on different social media platforms. It's like, I don't know if you're actually serious. Like, if you just wanted to come online and bitch and be super fucking negative because you're all pissy pussy about it, but are you actually gonna do anything about it? That's the real question.
Yeah, and I don't think most young girls actually, because see, the problem is they're fighting a brainwash. And the truth is, most young women want security, they want safety, they want assets, and a girl gotta eat, and a girl gotta pay the rent, and a girl gotta pay those college student loans. And so all of this, like, political activism in a way is very superficial because you can't fully commit to the cause and stay alive. But it's really, young women are like spies in a political movement if you're in the liberal leftist camp. So
You're so right.
as a MAGA Republican, I hope people understand, or a girl that I'm dating who's a liberal, like, knows that I know certain quotes that say, women of the party are the biggest gulp guzzlers of the dumbest slogans and lies, but they're also the most potentially violent, vitriolic, dangerous. When pushed, anybody can be put in a corner, and next thing you know, they become a ravenous wolf. So be careful about who you box in, or, I mean, this is all just hypothetical, but who wrote 1985, George Orwell? It's a George Orwell quote about young women being the amateur
Big Brother
spies.
is watching out for you. Big Brother is looking out for you. The thought police are here.
Yeah, question authority, think for yourself. All these people who hate Trump, they also hate Joe Biden, but they'll never talk about how much they hate Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or Tim Walz. I mean, nobody's going to be happy with the presidency. Every president is committing crimes on a massive scale. It's just what the presidency seems to be doing. That office is dedicated to basically selling poison, shipping weapons, causing chaos, And it doesn't matter if it's Republican or Democrat. If it's a Democrat, they'll do it in the background and you'll never know about it. If it's a Republican, the media will make sure you know about it.
John, I think the one thing that's coming to fruition is, well, we've all known about this, but this nasty Pelosi's like net worth, how she's making $175,000 a year, but she's worth $400 million. Her stock portfolio outperformed every hedge fund out there. And like all this stuff's coming to fruition, but I don't know what they're going to do about it because she just deflects from it every time.
Yeah, I wish I had hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy Google call options and be right about it.
Yeah. What I'm saying is all these people, like, how they can legally insider trade. Really?
Let me make something very clear.
I was in a room once. We were arguing about the worst president
You've been trying to get a hold
ever.
of me for a minute.
And it was, I think it was politically correct before they kicked me. And they said Donald Trump was. I said, no, Woodrow Wilson. He gave us World War I, the income tax, and the Federal Reserve. And then probably next, I would say, was FDR.
I didn't bother reaching out to you until you and that slime.
Lyndon Johnson. John, you should read the book FDR's Folly. Very good book. But anywho, how's it going, Indigo?
Yeah, I've never read 1984 George Orwell, but I know he's definitely influenced a lot of things in our society that I disagree with, as far as like greed and consumerism go. And the idea of who to hate. But I was looking up this quote John was just. I found it. It was always, and I don't know if I completely agree with this now that I actually see the full on quote. It was always the women and above all the young ones who were the most bigoted adherents of the party, swallowers of slogans, the amateur spies and nosers out of unorthodoxy. Yeah, so I'm not sure I completely agree with that, but that's the quote from George Orwell, 1984.
But what if that's historically accurate in the Bolshevik Revolution or the liberal American Revolution? Women are the vanguard of all gay black men. It's things like that where you're like, why? It's because of the conditioning. It's not do-goodery. It's all of the media. It is do-goodery, but it's the media. Like the media, it's a collective consciousness that it's a mind virus. People are living in a socially conditioned artificial reality, which is not based on natural law. It's political subversion and Democrat vote organizing.
Yeah. Yeah. I find myself more left-leaning than liberals. I usually find myself arguing with liberals the same way I argue with
You've been trying to get a hold of me for a minute. I didn't bother reaching out to you until you and that slime bag Severino and this Botox Barbie idiot decided to try to embarrass and humiliate that young girl on your show.
I find meeting ground a lot of the time.
You guys weren't counting on me blowing up the spot, and now it's all coming back on you. You want to come on our page, you want to run your mouth and talk some shit? Bro, come sit and talk to me directly.
I think it'd be center left.
Let's see what you have to say face to face. You want to sit down at the table? You want to have some coffee? You want to have a matzo ball? We can do that.
I mean,
leave my name
there's
the
a
hell out
lot
of your
of
mouth,
things
Max.
like as
That's
far
simple.
as like the United States goes, and maybe I have a bias
Continue to be the
because
douchebag with the
me
reputation that you carry.
understanding my actual
Let's see where it
history
takes you.
and
I've been here
being
for
of
16
the
years.
land.
Yeah, you haven't done shit. I've been here for 6
There's
months,
a lot of
and I'm
things that
already
I'm like,
blowing
yeah,
your
I
ass out
don't
of the
think
water.
we should uphold a lot of what
God
we
bless
have
you.
here at
L'chaim,
all.
shalom, and have a great night.
I'm definitely in favor of like a revolution, like resorting of power.
You'll eventually see one soon, because like people are really getting fed up with all this money printing, inflation, how badly we're being lied to. It just takes time, but people will fight back. Like 2 people can barely afford to get by with college degrees, to barely buy a house now, barely do anything. I mean, that's not good. It used to be in the 50s that one person had to work and you could have 4 kids in one house. The problem is in the 1950s, a house was like 1,300 square foot and it had a basement. Now every house is like 2,500 square feet, has 4 bedrooms, 4 baths, and like you have to have a $65,000 SUV, and we've just become so obsessed with consumerism. But then again, they've put all these like electronics in these cars to make them so damn complicated, and that's why they're so freaking expensive. But you know, Indigo, here in Michigan, people won't buy cars. We have no economy. 2008 and 9 and 10, like how badly our economy suffered. Like, if we have no automotive industry, we're dead here in Michigan.
So many people fled back then. I remember that.
He had retired from GM back then, and they basically, he was thinking about working another year, but he like took his buyout and said, screw it. And then right after he retired, things got a whole lot worse. So, but, you know, he and my mom did okay. They never lived lavish lifestyle. They saved, they underconsumed, and self-sacrificed, and they're doing okay. So, unfortunately, a lot of people weren't in their same situation.
My parents were actually pretty well off. My mom was very, very, very smart when it came to money. And also, like, we had moved during the whole time the housing market was crashing, but my parents were building a house before it even crashed, so that kind of, I don't know, I think that's what saved our ass, is the fact that, like, they'd already, you know, forked out all that money they needed for our new home, instead of having to deal with all of that.
Kind of in the matrix. Kind of in the matrix.
But from what I remember, we were pretty well off. Yeah, I was just saying, we had moved. My parents had rebuilt. Can you guys hear me? I don't know if you can hear.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Hey, Indigo, I can hear you. Hey, what's up?
Hey, Kitty. Yeah, I was just saying. Yeah, I also am from Michigan, but
all the young ones who were the most bigoted adherents of the party, swallowers of slogans, the amateur spies and nosers out of
shit happening. So they're totally like.
Wait a minute, hold up. What's the vodka? You blink twice if you're okay.
I'm okay. I knocked over my nightstand. I just walked straight into it right now. As is. No matter what I was just saying, I also am from Michigan. I think you know that, but I remember back in 2008, I do remember my parents talking about it. I was so young, but I do remember my parents talking about, you know, all of those stressors and things like that. But we had moved actually, and my parents had built a home, and they had been working on that. We moved in there, I think it was right before 2008. So I think, I could be wrong, but I think that kind of like saved them in a way. Because I know my mom, I think she still had like something with her mortgage. I don't know, something was going on with the housing crash and all that shit. But
projecting.
So, I mean,
Yeah,
I
we
need
were
to meet
pretty
a black
well off.
Buddhist or something. Be like, bro,
I do
what's
remember
up
a
with
bunch
your
of people
man?
leaving.
Do
They
you
call it
guys
like the
have no
Exodus.
peace? Is it all intentional?
I
Do
mean,
you
it
guys
makes
just
sense.
constantly
Like
call
when you have a
yourselves,
huge like
you know,
housing market crash, people aren't going to be.
You're a black Buddhist?
You know, they're afraid they're going to lose their homes. They're not going to be looking
Speaking of the
into
devil and
buying a
one
new
little cure.
vehicle or anything like that.
Yeah, nah, wait, you got beef? You got beef it up?
Let me make something very clear to you, Max.
2008.
You've been trying to get a hold of me for a minute.
Where
I
they
didn't bother
saved
reaching
all the
out to you
banks
until you and that slime bag
from after they were giving out,
and this
out there loans to like school bus drivers for like and then
let me make something
they wanted
very
to
clear
have
to you,
like
Max.
$100,000 loan on a salary.
You've been
that
trying
was,
to get a hold of me for a minute.
Say it was a
I didn't bother reaching out to you
salary,
until
but
you
not
and that
enough for a loan
slime
like
bag
that, and then banks were doing it
Severino
left
and
and right
this
until
Botox Barbie idiot.
for some reason the intelligent thing to do was like not let them go belly up, and by we as in all of us, any taxpayers, saved them, saved the banks. That's what you're referring to, right? And that's why I'm assuming wherever you're located in Michigan, you guys didn't then also on top of that have a bunch to invest in like automobile and manufacturing. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, so my dad invested in other ways. He never invested into big companies. My dad is he would buy cars and then he'd fix them up, and then he would flip things all the time.
Brilliant.
So yeah, we weren't invested in that way. But yeah, so it didn't really affect us in any. I mean, other than people leaving and the economy crashing, of course, you know, that's, you can't really go around that when they.
Right. No. I mean, like, that was, kudos to him for being above the curve, I would think. I mean, he did what my oldest brother in Chicago is doing now.
I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna say
if
one.
your dad was doing that in 2008,
If you're too nice.
You know, I think that the hottest thing, at least for me, because I was still right in the throes of finishing my bachelor's degree and getting this loving student loan debt, which I paid off. But before that hit for me and the housing market crash and all that stuff, I was obviously seeing those around me, including my parents, that were like diversifying for their like Roth, like not just their 401k, but like an IRA for retirement, you know. And they're like, hey, Chris, you should do this because one, we don't live forever, and two, there's going to be some shit that goes down in the future. I can feel it.
If you're too
nice. Right. Totally right. The pandemic. Yeah. Yeah.
See, one thing that happened with Trump's stimulus bill that was kind of interesting that he did was in the CARES Act, like if you had like a 401k or IRA, he was letting you take out up to $100,000 and you didn't have to pay a 10% like tax penalty. So what happened in like 2020, 2021 was you had these people taking out all this money and doing remodeling of their houses or buying shit, and there was so much money that flooded the market, and they did all these stimulus bills that now like the market's like saturated, and there isn't a lot of money floating around. So I think we're gonna have a nice slowdown.
All the young ones who were
So they're totally like outward
there's parts of it
projecting.
then, and then parts
So,
of it that
I mean, I
there's
need to
lots
meet a
of
black
ups and
Buddhist or
downs,
something.
right? I mean, like I
Let me
think
make
that
something very clear
during
to
the
you, Max.
pandemic itself,
You've been trying to get a hold of me for a minute.
Printing it like
I didn't bother
Monopoly
reaching
bucks
out to you
there
until
for
you
a
and that
minute,
slime
so
bag
it's circulating there.
Severino
I
and
mean,
this
it's fiat
Botox Barbie idiot
garbage,
decided to try to embarrass and
like I said,
humiliate that young girl on your
Monopoly
show.
bucks right now. But I still don't think that has, like, if you're looking at it under the, I guess, the lens of like inflation, maybe. I think Trump has got a lot of things more. Not that it's perfect. And Nick, I know, talking to you previously, I know you're not any kind of Trump fan, but I think he's got it at least a little bit more wrangled in currently than anything in the 2020 to say 2024. That was pandemonium for me. I was like, this is a shit show for sure, because we were just printing. Like, we'll just keep printing it. And to me, that was an absolute insanity. I mean, eventually it's just going to lose all value, right? I think common sense would dictate that. I'd like to see. Also, John is probably taking a nap right now. I don't know. He's a good guy. I vote for John.
I just wanted to say, who's recreational use only? Kitty's not even recreational use. She's a double bagger, and that's about it.
He's actually my real daddy. I just want that to be known. Okay? So, anybody that wants to judge the way that I look, maybe look at Pepe. What are you doing?
Pepe.
My name's Jesus.
Pepe, if you and Kitty.
I didn't even look at my phone. I didn't look down at my phone. I didn't know you changed your name.
My name's Jesus. I don't know what you're talking about.
Jesus, if you and Kitty went to a bar on a Friday, Saturday night, who do you think would be most likely to get laid, you or Kitty?
Well, women haven't eat. Guys drunk guys in particular will fuck anything. So that's just a fact.
Why is that in nature?
Probably get pregnant faster than me.
Why do you think in nature the male always has to approach the female? It's like 99.9%. You'll very rarely.
A lot of the studies are based off like evolutionary psychology, but yeah, I mean you have to think about it. Throughout hundreds of thousands of years, you have what has always happened is that when a woman got pregnant, it was a substantial risk for her. He would have to basically be the one that would protect and provide for her. And so they are going to, it's basically a way of protecting themselves and making sure they don't put themselves in a harmful situation.
Mm-hmm. So women are so risk adverse.
And we keep our legs.
So women are extremely risk adverse. But does that also imply that they're rather selfish or petty or self-centered, narcissistic?
No, it's like all of us are driven by these primal. Like women might not even really fully think about why is it that they.
Are replays on? I have some serious cunts. I'm just saying. So you seem very self-centered and very narcissistic, but then in the same light,
oh my God,
I think that's like there's some nuance there, John. Right? But in the same scope, I wouldn't say not all men.
Just motoring along. Wow.
Jesus, he gets real hard in one area. Real strong in a smaller area, and that tends to be his center focus, and that's what he thinks with. But not all men do that.
Amazing.
Okay.
I would say, oh wow. Well, I would say so. I don't think it's necessarily selfish. I would say almost everything about there's a level of selfishness in every human interaction. Especially when it comes to dating or mating, the whole reason you find people attractive is because it's your way of recognizing what is likely this is a person that will produce healthy offspring, because it's in your obviously your best interest to not only procreate but have healthy offspring as well. That's why certain women are considered conventionally more attractive. That's why certain traits with men are generally considered more attractive. It's just how it is.
Yeah, but like with modern science and money and women being dumb, I'm not saying like not all women, but I'm saying like we put ourselves in a real effed up box on our own volition, where we could have just, made a sandwich, shut up, gave a blowjob, stayed in the kitchen. And there's option one. Option two is we can be in the infantry, risk our lives, also give birth, have pain in childbirth, and be a CEO. Whatever, we can do it. Sure. There's options, obviously, that's like cultivated over time, that's changed a lot of shit. I think that's one, negatively, in my own opinion, screwed women over, but also there's a lot of, I think, things that are getting left out. Like, I don't know, how much hormones they pump into chicken and McNuggets from 1985 until the time I was 12 and fully grown. I think that has a lot to do with reproduction. I think that vaccines have a lot to do with reproduction. And I think that you and I won't probably know but a fraction of before we're like 60, 70, and Big Pharma's like, yeah, we effed up back in late 80s.
Well, I'll say this.
Didn't want to say anything, but chicks,
the cultural problems you see with this would be my like negative critique of white people, and this is why it's important is because white people created most of this mess. They've obviously been the ones who've done like 99% of the advancements and innovation you see in society, but this whole like egalitarian thing where we take stupid ideas and because we're like so altruistic, we make it seem like, oh well, yeah, it's a good thing. Oh yeah, you G.I. Jane, amazing, bitch, slay. Only white people would think up this stupid shit, and only white people they can spread it all over the fucking world, and then get put a battery in the back of a bunch of third worlders who now start preaching that shit. Like all of the negative shit, the ideas. Think about this. All of these black people that bitch about reparations, they bitch about, oh, you colonized Africa, you did this, dude. Even like critical theory, all of this shit came from fucking white people. Now black people abuse it. Women. I mean, if you look at feminist theory, if you look at critical race theory, all of that stuff, it all comes from like critical theory. It all comes from.
Yeah, you're right. You know what I heard a dude on Zap say though, and I was with him all the way until he just like got so like hard up on saying it's all white liberal women, and I was like, hold up, I'm not like I've been called anti-feminist on this app. But I'm gonna draw the line in saying that it's only perfect date. It's not only. There's a lot of cucks. There's a lot of cis boys who don't want to step up and they kowtow to whatever. And I think that lack of, which of course call someone toxic enough, put down their masculinity, I mean, get what you get. I mean, but I think honing into it, it's definitely, I'm sorry, it is more left than you'll ever hear somebody that's leaning at least right of center, and it's definitely more progressive, or at least liberal. You're right. Jesus, really? We're going with that now? Right? Jesus, I think you're right, but when that dude said that, I was like, okay, now he's just coming off real ripery.
No, I think it's like part of the problem with just white people. And I actually think it might be something that's genetic about us. Like we promote these really dumb egalitarian and I don't know, things, ideas, and it gets pushed in academia. It's taken seriously. Who was that dumb monkey that was he made a book that was like anti-racist baby? Like the fucking retard couldn't debate. He did poor on conventional tests. He blew through all of the fucking money he had. And I just remember listening to it at the time. It's like, why are people fucking listening to this guy? He's such a fucking retard.
Yeah, that's an example.
But it's like white people in this way, they are so like, there's some of them that are so like egalitarian that they will put up with it what is largely a fucking monkey in a suit. And like, oh yes, it makes sense. And they'll try to make it sound reasonable to them. I mean, all of the shit, all of the critical, or all of the junk.
Well, it proves to you.
All of the junky shit in academia comes from, liberal leftists. Or I should say white leftists.
That I watched this like 2-hour seminar of this African American woman talking about white privilege and structural racism and critical race theory, white supremacy, everything. And it was a Google presentation, and people sat there and listened politely and intently, but it wasn't like a Q&A. It was just like this 2-hour hypnosis brainwash of an extremely unbalanced emotional woman with very little facts or evidence to back up her hypnosis session. So It's like history hypnosis. It doesn't solve our problems now. It doesn't make things more efficient.
Give me a blowjob every time he says hypnosis. Start counting them. All right, Jesus.
Well, it's important to remember the concept of hypnosis, because otherwise you can get tricked by charlatans who want to basically politicize and propagandize. And it's just nuanced propaganda. It's you could call it intelligent, but if you are intelligent and you realize they're wasting their time and your time and everybody's time, you just have to shut them down and roast them for being essentially reverse racists and low IQ people who aren't actually contributing anything other than to trying to achieve some
But they'll
type
just say it's white fragility, and that you want to uphold the system of white supremacy and whatever stupid shit. I mean, it's an evolution where I just went from being like, okay, like let's have serious conversations, to I'm just gonna nip it in the butt and call you a dumb nigger. That's that.
I film YouTube and I try to keep all my communication professional, so I know you don't and you suffer as a result of it. But to me, if you have N-word Tourette syndrome, that's actually like admitting that you're low IQ yourself, because I know you do it for dopamine or for comedy, or you're even trying to accurately describe trashy, stupid people. But if you're having these conversations with these people and you're not bottling it, packaging it, distributing it, you're like a junkie who just keeps talking to poop. So try to,
No, you have it. You have the. So if you have somebody, especially, I love having these conversations with the sophisticated brothers who think they're really smart, and they're, they learn some words, they watch some, content online, and now they think they're an expert. And so I love, because I've been doing this for years, and so I know basically I know what points to bring up where they're not going to be able to really come out with anything to disprove what I'm saying. There's all kinds of stuff that I can just because of experience. These are like, I'm already kind of armed with this shit, and so I will do it very politely to those kinds of people. But like when you get the low IQ. One of the most amazing things I heard was Goats. Goats again? He was in a room, of course, it's all black. And, sometimes when it gets ghetto, he says not very nice things. And he would say, oh, okay, here goes the nigger babble. Yep, nigger babbled. Here it is, nigger babbling. Like, he'll just do it. Like, he intrinsically gets it. But, of course, he's black, so he gets away with it. But it is what it is. Like, none of us we do not have to pretend like there's nigger babble like that, or there isn't nigger babble.
Well, see,
exactly
you could just
it
call it.
Don't humor these people.
You can just call it low IQ. But listen, I understand your frustration, but the problem is, the N word is not a high level intelligence word of communication. It's just not. So thus you go back to like a comedy
once
show.
Again, Professor Douglas, at Yale, or not Yale, Duke, he uses the word nigger, and he uses the term nigger babble.
I know, but what is your point right now, though?
Yeah, what is exactly? I know that you're trying to drive home an intelligent point, and the thing is so many people, it falls on deaf ears. I'm just saying, it's your friend, Jesus, because, and I didn't mean to overtalk, John, I apologize, but like, that word has been so lost and just like bastardized. I mean, like, I'm here in the South, and I'm here to tell you, like, you can talk to some of the most intelligent Southern gentlemen in the whole world, and then you can talk to some real ass backward, inbred, almost sounding, and white trash. I mean, to tell you, white trash. And talking to them, it's no different than talking to like one of the Black Hebrew Israelites, in Clubhouse. I mean, either way, I know.
Yeah, but what do we call them though? What do we call them? We call them white trash.
I don't call them white. I don't call them white.
Well, I do if they're being belligerent. If they're being belligerent with me, I absolutely will call them white trash. I'll call them inbred. I'll call them all kinds of things. I don't have to use the kid gloves on black people.
Them up. I just don't hear. Maybe it's just me in the rooms I'm in. But I hear you talk about both sides of the scale, male and female, when it comes to whether intelligent or unintelligent, when it comes to whites. But I think that sometimes it feels as though you put like a certain category of like, what you would consider trashy or bad people of the white spectrum above any other scope or scale of all other trash. To me, there's just trash.
No, I mean, but we have to be fair. We have to be fair. Like, I would say, like an Indian trash, like, feather, not dot. I don't know if they're like worse than white people. They're just kind of like stupid and they like to get drunk and be lazy, and that's fine. White trash, kind of like they're dysfunctional, but poor black. Yeah, but the difference between niggers and white trash is that white trash at the end of the day generally doesn't hurt you. They generally are not going to do a random act of violence on you, but blacks are. But niggers will, and so they are absolutely. I do place white trash above them for that reason alone.
Asian people would. You say the same
So
thing about
Pepe,
Hispanic
let me
people? I
ask
don't
you a
think so.
question. If you were the president, like you are in your PTR and you were Francisco Franco, what would you do for we the people? What would your priority be other than coming on a social audio app and using provocative terminology all the time?
I deniggerize America first and foremost.
What does that mean?
No nigger behavior.
And what happens if somebody happens to be at the drive-through window and they're homeless and they're saying, "Hey man, can you get me a 6-piece chicken nugget? It's only $1, man. It's on the dollar."
I don't care about
Can
that
you
kind of
help
stuff.
out?
That kind of stuff doesn't bother me.
But so that wouldn't be part of your DN word.
The guy when you stop off to get some chicken nuggets and a motherfucker says, "Get me your goddamn wallet, motherfucker! I ain't playing." That's the nigger behavior.
I understand. So that's what you would want to de-ennerize.
Yes, and yep.
I think we can do that. Okay, well.
So how do you do that, though? Do you send these people to a re-education facility to meet with drill sergeants and therapists? Like, what is your process?
The ones who stick the gun in your face, no, society won't have to worry about them again.
Oh, so you would just do like a Duterte and just go around with a hit squad and just start killing people?
No. What I would. Okay, ideally, you have like these big like C-130 Hercules and those. What is that really big? The biggest one, the Super Galaxy that the military has, and the backs open up. Okay, and we have more water than we have land. Okay, the fish need to be fed. They'll just never be seen again. That's all I can fucking say.
So would you join the hit squad? Would you man the Vulcan machine gun and spray down the rain of fire upon the people who you believe?
What do we call Arab trash?
I'm
It's
not
called
around.
It's called
I'm not
sand.
around enough of them.
That's a sand
Okay, well,
N-word.
we got Arabs that are in the gas stations, acting like black people.
Are they working? Are they working?
Not all the time, no.
Well, usually they own the gas station, so it's a little bit different from the blacks.
See, this is where
Yeah, family is up there and they're not working. And then we got Okay, can I describe the trash, or are you guys gonna just dick ride Arabs?
Yeah, don't let that potato monkey fucking talk over you. Go.
Fuck you, Pepe. I'm trying to talk about the galaxy, bro. The plane you were talking about.
No, fuck that shit. Okay,
Yeah,
so,
fuck you, Pepe.
They sit out in their garage, they smoke shisha, they call their women bitches, they smack them around, this kind of shit.
No, they would go into re-education camps and they'd have to drop Islam, period. Like, I would personally, consider Qurans and terrorist material, and so I would outlaw the Quran and mosques, and that's that. And I'm actually not joking. In the United States, I would literally do that.
See, this is where I film everything here, so I consider it a show always, or an experiment. And, this is my critique of Jesus. If he were to just say, hey, this is the Pepe show or the Jesus show, and this is a comedy show which uses profane, vulgar language, it's not rated family friendly. You will hear racist terminology. That would be a better way to present, your content or your show. I know you're going to kick me. I know you're going to, but that's okay. I mean, I've been recording all day long. I'm exhausted, but see, you're going to be eternally frustrated because you're not creating anything. And if you don't create anything and all you do is repeat a pattern, it's like the definition of stupidity. It's just low IQ behavior.
I actually don't, because if I'm being honest, okay, I would say starting like 5-6 years ago when I was doing this shit online, everybody's like, oh, there's Pepe the Nazi. Oh, he's so horrible. Oh, he's a just disgusting fascist. He's so mad. He's racist. And you know what's really cool? You say it was all for nothing, but now I go on social media and like what I was saying 5 or 6 years ago when everybody was saying how horrible I was, now people are all saying the exact same shit, but they've even taken it even further. And so my job's been done. I mean, I'm just being honest.
Well, not yet. I don't think so. And I think you're missing John's point. I think if you're correct me if I'm wrong, John, but I think what he's saying is if you look at this lucratively and you look at it like you're doing it, you might as well get paid for it, right? I mean, just hypothetically, if people know that who was the late night guy that he had it was like a podcast, but he had like one black chick that co-host with Howard Stern. If you look at it like a late night Howard Stern, you get what you get, and if that's the kind of material that you not only relate to, find interesting, funny, offensive. It's like South Park, for example. It's like you wouldn't play that on the afternoon, around the time where kids are getting out of school. But if you know when to hit that website of Jesus blah 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 4K 4chan.com, insert. I'm sure John can help you with like some kind of venture capitalism something. You know what I mean? Then you can redirect something that could really not only make you money, but a lot of people can appreciate. And I am working on something. Like that guy. I'm trying to like figure out how to get all of the dirty spics to be on Team White, because they've largely been doing it. So I want to make like a hold on. Wow. Get a blowjob. Okay. I'm like, but I do like. That's why I am going with the Mexican name. Like, I want to have like a Wienerwaffen, like content. And I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
That's funny, Wienerwaffen.
Yeah.
Well, see, even if you were to record African Americans crashing out in your rooms and you had Mon on stage and it was reminiscent of Howard Stern, or something to that extent, you can use the N-word if it's coming from an N-word mouth on a social audio app and put it on YouTube. That's not racist. But when you start crashing out and using the N-word, then your show, unfortunately, will be censored. But it won't be censored if it comes out of the N-word's mouth and they're using the N-word. So just keep that in mind, Jesus.
No, I probably, if I did that, I would use I would use a clip from a rap song or something. And it would be nigga. And every time I wanted to say, like, these dirty fucking monkey niggas. And then you play a clip from like a Kevin Gates song. Hell yeah, I would laugh my ass off. And I mean, I wouldn't necessarily pay for it, depending on if like there was a premium subscription. No, maybe. I know definitely people that would.
I mean, that's a good idea. I heard about some comedian a couple weeks ago where he had some black guy every time he wanted to say that word. The black guy would fucking say that shit, man. So
yeah, I saw that clip.
Yeah. So honestly, I think you're right though, Pepe. There's this black fatigue thing is starting to gain steam, and I don't think people are becoming racist. We're just becoming unapologetic to be afraid to call a spade, right? I mean, and so I think that people are becoming less afraid to say that word, and so yeah, dude, it's pretty good, man.
I'm not gonna lie.
Hold on, that's cap. That's cap. That only exists on Clubhouse, because I don't think any of y'all, other than maybe Pepe, will say that will say the nigga word, nigga, in a black person's face in real life. I think y'all smart enough not to do that. But on an app, I think you will. So
I think you're right, Mike, because not only that, Mike, I mean, will you probably get punched in the face, but also because that's just, but also it's just shit. We can get fired for that shit, lose our careers. We're still not completely clear from saying anything we want, which is, I just think that, it's people are less afraid to call a spade, so.
I love that you said that, but tag me in, Coach. I'm going to pull a Pepe, or I'm sorry, a Jesus really quick, though, Mike. 1 second, guys. Go outside. If that's okay. Thanks. I appreciate it. Sorry about that. But so, Mike, would you feel that same, not necessarily fear or shame, should be shame, guilt? Would you feel that, not necessarily you, but I'm saying, let's just say Black people in general, if it was in a heated back and forth between you and, would you say honky, cracker, redneck, any of those? Would you feel that same?
I'll be honest.
I'm just curious. That's just for Mike.
Oh, just for
I mean, me personally, I'm not really the type to say that. I mean, I'll come in the room, I'll come in white America and say cracker just because, I mean, that's just the type of rhetoric that be.
It's on.
What you gonna do, tell?
I tell that I feel your shit off.
Appreciate it. Is Michael Irvin currently playing?
What you gonna do, tell?
Ass on, bro. You don't even know me.
Man,
That's not even his name, bitch. You sound dumb as hell. You looked up a whole totally different sport.
I didn't look up shit.
That's
Bitch,
how
it's in a
you
chat.
Ratatouille.
You needed to go get a bigger size anyway. That shit is my size. Yeah, you got on no fucking.
Go get it.
Bro,
Just tell it.
And just all the things as far as why we should even get together and do land. So you're getting some very good advice. As I said earlier, you got to have your bylaws, your articles of organization.
Okay, the Jesus is not Pepe Show. This is John. What up, Nye? You're not a fan of ice and Kankakee? Well, why not?
The rhetoric that go. To Black
I don't know if
people
you've been
in
to
real life.
South, man. We got a lot of guns down here, and anytime that somebody wanted to tell a southern gentleman,
fighting
I care about,
words,
and
though.
call him a redneck or call him an inbred or say these.
Well, sure. So you're talking about fighting.
Wait. But I'm saying, don't go outside.
No, but you're talking about fighting words in general. Okay, because if you call somebody, if there's things you can say where you reasonably expect a fight, like calling another male a pussy, calling them a racial slur, a strong one, saying something about their family, a family member they so happen to be with. Like if you want a good likelihood of there to be a fight with a stranger, you say any of that shit and you're like, yeah, N-word is up there. I mean, it's. But I don't like.
I'll be real with you. Where I grew up in a ghetto, and you can see by my picture. I mean, I'm not completely white looking. I do have a little bit of a brownish tint to me, and in my face you can tell I don't look completely white. Whatever, but I used to say nigga all the time when I was a kid. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but I grew up around predominantly Black
Due process
people,
sucks in
and
this
didn't
country.
nobody
There's no due
ever
process.
say
Everything
shit
should be
to
done by a
me
jury
until
trial,
I
but
became
how
a
the fuck do you do
grown-ass
that
woman.
at scale?
And this was about 5 years
Does
ago.
everybody
and
got to
they
go
were
to
like,
jury
hey,
trial now 5
and I
days a
was with
week? I
some
mean,
girls from
what the
New
fuck?
York, and they're like, you can't say that. Like,
Lawyers and judges suck, let me tell you.
you're
They
not
don't want to
Black
hear shit.
kind of thing.
They just say,
And that's
shut
when
up.
it started
Pay
like
up
I had to think
or
about
shut
it.
up.
Oh, I'm actually
That's what it
offending
is.
you, even
Pay
though I
up
wasn't
and
using
no, it's not even
it
pay
in
up or shut up.
intent
It's
to be
pay
like,
up
oh,
and shut up.
using this word
That's the
to
way it goes.
describe a black person. I was using
Pay up
the
and
word
shut
to
up.
just describe anybody. You know what I mean? And another thing with rednecks is, like, I don't know why people say, oh, rednecks is offensive to white people, when rednecks historically was actually for the working class of black and white people that revolted
I think you're
against
thinking it. I think you're thinking of skinheads.
No, it's rednecks.
Rednecks was particularly white. It was a white Southern, like our working class Southerners, but the whole movement. I think you're conflating skinheads, because that was the original skinhead movement was a working class pride thing, and there was a lot of blacks and whites that would do it. Particularly in the UK, and it caught on in Jamaica quite a bit. But a lot of the Caribbean people that lived in working class neighborhoods, obviously, in the UK, they were part of the skinhead scene. And then you had the Sharps, which are, so they had them like when I was in high school. So you would have, they're both into like what they'd call like the hardcore or punk rock scene. They're two like genres of music, and the Sharps, it's like skinheads against racial prejudice or some shit like that. That's what it stands for. Then you have like hammer skins, which are the neo-Nazi ones. And they fucking hate each other. There was like a mistake once where I forget the name of the amphitheater out in Mesa, but they ended up doing like a back-to-back concert where a neo-Nazi like skinhead show, and then you had like the straight edge and Sharps, which they're two different groups, but they're friendly with each other that are in that scene. They had a show right afterwards, and there was like huge fight and weapons involved. But yeah, no, that was but redneck, that was kind of more just like a white working class Southern man. I mean, black people don't get rednecks.
I thought it was for black and white people, but
well, who gets a redneck?
Okay, but I want to ask the white people a question. I understand people not really being offended by honky or cracker, but which, by the way, I say honky and cracker all the time. It's like one of my two favorite words. But say you go into a neighborhood this is not your neighborhood, and I don't know, maybe a brown Mexican woman or a black man comes out, right? And they tell you, get the fuck out of here, bitch. Would you be offended by that?
What did they say to a white person?
If they called you like a pink bitch or something.
Mexicans never do that. I don't know.
Yeah, I was about to say, can I make it a more realistic, like what happened to me earlier today, and how I reacted?
I want to know what you guys be offended by being called pink.
Hey, yo, baby, what up? Hey, Indigo, you looking good? Hey, girl. Now, didn't ask for that. Come on.
Saying we need
nice lady.
everyone has to be educated in it, otherwise you get taken advantage of by people who are educated in it because they circumvent it.
Personally, didn't want the advances
because you don't know it.
Put myself out there.
It's in the Constitution. You're entitled to a jury trial if it's over $10 or $20.
I treated him no differently than I would.
I have legal problems. I was denied due process, a jury trial.
And if that makes
Shut
me
up,
racist,
pay up.
So be
That's it.
And if Mike wants to say that puts me in a dangerous blows, well then, so be it. Born on the south side of Chicago, raised in Alabama, this damn Yankee literally will hold her own when treated like I'm garbage if you talk to me like I'm garbage. If you're respectful, I'll be respectful. Just if you talk to me, if you're not going to be comfortable calling your mom a whore, a slut, a bitch, a cunt, then why in the world would you assume that you can say that to me or my little sister or my girlfriend Indigo? You know what I mean? Like, that's my mentality. Likewise, if I'm going to go with the premise of saying that he's the
that's not racial, but that's not racially involved. Like, that's more like an aggressive black man who would probably approach a black woman the same way.
Well, I was just trying to make it apples to apples for her.
Well, it's catcalling, which is still disrespectful, but I mean, it is a different category.
I mean, I can only think of a couple times. I don't know if I can recall a black person ever disrespecting me personally, for like racially, overtly, unless like we already were like arguing or something. But
I've been at a bar before.
I have
where
seen
you had a girlfriend there, and like maybe some hot-looking 6 foot something, all of a beefcake black guy was like, "Yeah, you don't count. Like your presence doesn't matter because I could get you, girl, if I wanted to. If that didn't piss you off, that's never happened to you."
I don't know. Nobody really did that to me. No, there's one time. There's one time where there was like this big black bouncer, and my girlfriend, at the time she's Hungarian and Mexican. She looks kind of more like Mexican. But like he was kind of flirting with her, and I kind of shot him a look, and he took like my beer out of my hand and then like threw it in the trash. And like he was a big dude, and you know, he's like basically like get the fuck out. And it was like an empty bar at that point. I was like, all right, fucking fuck these people.
I would say black men for sure. We definitely would challenge a white dude with his girl. If your girl look good, we'll definitely say something to your girl, just cause we probably not intimidated by you. In the first place. So if you walk in fine, if your bitch is fine, and we see her, we gonna say something.
And I'm gonna look at you like I don't care how big you are. I don't care how black you are.
Yeah, you do. That's not how people work.
That's cap. That's cap. You know.
No, it depends on which white people. It depends on which white people you're talking. Like, look, the average white person is not going, especially if they're smaller. They're not gonna. Nobody wants to deal with the legal or the medical issues or anything like that. Why would they? It's a stupid game to play. But I would say, like, I went to a high school. I went to a
cis boy. I mean,
if anything, the white man gonna be like, "Hey, babe, come on." He's gonna pull her away and try to walk away. The white man, he's not gonna confront the black man like, "Hey, watch your mouth," or "Watch who you talking to." They're not doing that.
Well, I would say this: if these are okay, but I would say this: like, if there was guys, if there was like Hell's Angels, like wearing their colors out at a bar, and one of them had the hottest white woman these black men had ever seen, I promise you, not one goddamn black guy would be caught glancing at her, because once again, we know the kinds of guys that are members of the Hell's Angels, and we know these aren't pussy white boys. These people are down, and they're willing to do things illegal, you know. So
I don't suck. This guy sucks.
But the average white boy, yeah, nobody's gonna fuck. You know, what are they? They're probably not gonna do anything. Like, be realistic.
They gonna be like, "Hey, babe, let's go."
Wait, I want to hear what Mike's to say about this.
Mike, if you
I guarantee you, if a black man was with a black girl and a white man walked up and said some shit like that, a black man is going to press that white man. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the same thing with me. It's like, you got certain... Hold on a minute. Hold on, Kitty. Hold on. Bro, if we can be real, like, and I can just admit a few things, man. Like, there's lots of crazy fucking white boys out there. I'm not glorifying what we do, but obviously you know that white boys can pop off too, bro. Okay, now I'm not saying that black people can't, because you guys do it in your own right, but it's more regional. Trust me, white boys can pop off.
No, they can, and so that you get like the redneck. You get like, first of all, I think black people are not stupid. Okay, if they're out in like a podunk country bar somewhere in Alabama, where they got some big ass corn-fed or southern soul food-fed white people, they know, and they know like these guys will pop off. They're not going to test one of these dudes, because they know what the result will be. But like, if you were to look at like the average suburban white guy, they aren't going to do shit. That is a reality. I mean, that is a fact.
I mean, but that's just common knowledge, though. Like, as a white person, you're not going to go to the hood, pull up in a hood bar, and start saying a whole bunch of crazy racist ass shit. But if you was in your country ass bar and you surrounded by all your peoples, you feel me? You might have a little bit of energy to say what you want to say. So I mean, that's just how people move.
Well, the reality is though, is that the average white suburbanite would be scared to go to like a fucking rough West Virginian or Alabaman bar, because those white people are not built the same. And they can get a little bit more belligerent.
Wait, say this one more time. I really want to hear his comparison real quick.
I grew up in
Wait, no, but Pepe said. Or, dang it, stop changing your name.
No, I was saying that the average white suburbanite would feel very uncomfortable going to like a podunk, like rough around the edges white bar in Alabama or West Virginia, because that is where you'll find white people who are just totally built different. And in fact, I would kind of say they're more so comparable to like the quote unquote ghetto black people.
I would argue. I'll be honest. When I get a flat tire outside of Mountain, can I respond to him? Because that was to my question, really quick. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if that really lines up with what I see. What I see is that you've got a Southern gentleman, is what you're saying, and you've got what I guess society would deem white trash or a redneck. Okay, and I've got a flat tire outside of a bar, and no boyfriend. Between the two of them, if the chivalry white dude who's I would say a redneck as opposed to this.
A redneck's more likely to help you on the side of the road. I agree.
100%, yeah.
And that is something my brother and I have had this conversation, like, because I would drive like the shittiest cars in college and high school. My brother did too, and it's like, dude, like, it's only Mexicans that pull over and help us. Like, that is so fucking weird. When like shit would go wrong with their cars, like white people couldn't be bothered.
Misnomer. Like, I'm just saying, in Tennessee, it's very uncommon for a black guy to go out of his like normal. Like, I'm saying, most gentlemen, if it's just me talking to a black guy, they are the most cordial 9 times out of 10. Very respectful. I mean, today was a very fluke thing. What does happen all the time, and I'd say moreover here recently than not, is you will find someone who, and I'm not calling them illegal, I'm just saying they speak, and when they say no English, they speak no English, and they literally walk up to you, no shit, I'm just telling you how it happens in like south of the Mason-Dixon line. I'm in Tennessee, I've lived in Alabama for years. They will walk up to you and ask straight up their best English way of saying pussy. I'm not kidding. And you look at them like, what? You had the gall to actually take steps in my direction.
Where in Tennessee
no
do you
idea.
live?
And where I've never.
I live in Tennessee. Where do you live?
Well, hold up now. Are replays on? That is some doxing. I'll let you know. Can we do that?
Don't be scared, Katie. You don't gotta be scared of nobody.
It's not about scare. I don't know who's in the listening lounge. It's called intelligent. Yeah, I'll hit you up in the back channel.
But Beaver, let me ask you a question. This is my impression. I've only been to the South. I haven't been to the South since I was a kid. This is my impression from Southerners I've met. But it seems like you have some of the most like hospitable people and most mannerly people in the South that are like, they have better manners and they're way more likely to be hospitable in comparison to the rest of the country. But it seems like with that, you also get like a white underclass that is maybe poorer, more like this, like they have more like white. Hold on. More like white trash, I guess you can say, than you would see in other parts of the country. Maybe
That's
I'm wrong.
Exactly correct. Yep. There was, where I lived, there were people nice, but where we kept our boat, we kept it like maybe an hour away, and we had to drive into a really rural part. And my best friend was a black kid in the 5th grade, and I kept asking, well, can I bring my friend to the boat? Because I always hated going there, it was boring as hell. And my dad was like, he was arguing with my mother about it. He's like, my mom's like, yeah, we can do it. And he's like, no, we can't do that. They hate black people down there. And that's when I kind of really realized, the different parts of the, like where I lived in Tennessee.
Protection for the black, I'm assuming for your black friend.
Yeah, that's what he's insinuating.
Like they would cut our boat up or something, like they would retaliate. Because one of the kids down there did say that his dad hates black people. Like, we just don't like them. We just don't like them. And to me, it was such a foreign thing to hear. So to answer your question, yes, in parts, if you go to the really rural parts, yes, they're very nice to white people, but they would like, well, we just don't like them around here. We don't like those people. They're not welcome here. And even my next door neighbor in a nice place, she kind of was a rich family, but her she would say like, well, I like black people, but I wouldn't let my daughter date one.
Right.
So there's a little bit of that, but she had a heart of gold otherwise. She would do anything.
Beaver, that's literally everywhere. That ain't even just down south. That's literally on every section of the country. Literally.
Yeah, I mean, my family's like that too. Like, you would never bring a black. If you were white in my family, it wouldn't happen. But I would. But my family doesn't like hate black people, and they would like if my family would be disappointed if they heard that I disparage black people. See, like they're 100% against being mean to them. They probably have more class than me, which they do. But yeah, my dad, like, he went to, like, later in life, he was born in Boston, and he grew up largely in Canton, Ohio. And he was saying how, like, it was largely a steel mill town. These were, like, a lot of basically low-class people. They were just really... He said that, back then it was very segregated. But he said, like, that these are white people you never wanted to live around, like, ever. Like, a lot of them were bullies. They were belligerent. They were just I guess, just the definition of white trash.
Correct. That's exactly correct.
No, just kidding. I'm kidding.
Hold on, let him speak.
There's Newport, Tennessee, Clark County. I'm sure Kitty's heard of this, where they literally had illegal casinos and chicken or cockfighting, and the sheriff like ran the illegal casino. I'm talking like the real poor people. No black kids go to Clark County High School. It's all white. I remember my parents telling me one time we were driving through, they're like, we can't stop here. And so in the nicer places where I lived, that wasn't a thing. Now there'd be the veiled, I guess, racism like Mike's talking about. Like, the dad would be disappointed that the daughter would go to a dance with the black kid for homecoming or something. He wouldn't outright say it. But in those poorer parts, they would outright say it. And they were more, white people wouldn't want to deal with them either. Like, they're just white trash.
Would you say that last two sentences one more time? Because I couldn't hear it.
In the poorer parts of Tennessee, like Newport, Cobb County, where they have they have old washing machines in the front yard and cars that are broke down and haven't been, they will outright be racist and say we don't like. They would stare down a black guy probably.
I mean, you can find places, I'm sure, in Nashville,
Knoxville,
Chattanooga, that you can, without the washing machine, that can be just equally as racist.
Not outwardly.
I'm telling you, you can go to the south side of Chicago, and maybe it won't be the same. Maybe you can go to one of the
south side Chicago is black though.
Well, believe it or not, it's becoming New Mexico.
I mean, it is though. She is right about that though. It is a lot of Mexicans that's out there in the south.
South Cicero, all the way, it's and I don't just.
Well, I would say this. I would say the Mexicans are far more. I would say my impression is I know the gang things are whole gang thing is way different out here. Like if you're in jail, if you go to jail here, or and it includes the prison system, and if you have Latin Kings membership or
it takes those two signatures or two